SeaJay, your favorite scuba diver here with Deep South Divers. We're working on Odyssey today. She's a 43-foot Hatteras, and first we're going to inspect, take a look and see what we've got. You can see her props and her running gear is pretty fouled up, but her paint is in excellent condition. That paint's done a fine job of keeping her barnacle free, except for the through hulls. You see that the paint hasn't really stuck to the through hulls or the shafts. Now the props have prop speed on them, which has kept them basically clean, except for a few very mature, rather large barnacles. So we're going to have to be real careful at taking all that stuff off. The rudders and the trim tabs both have, they've been coated in prop speed as well, but it just wasn't as effective. So here I'll take this zinc off, and that way I can clean everything up. But I dropped the tool. Check my lap and make sure that I didn't. No, I really did. I dropped it. So let's go get it. About 20 feet of water or so. There it is. Let's go finish the job. You might notice those gloves. Those are the new Showa 720s. Those are nitrile with an acrylic lining. They work great with that waterproof Ultima dry glove ring system. Very impressed with those gloves. All right, off comes the old dead zinc. I'll put that on the client's swim platform. So I'll go ahead and start cleaning the water line. I'm going to do the water line first because that's when we've got slack tide. So notice the way that I'm holding the blade. You see I'm not really holding it by the handle. I'm holding it by the metal part. But the handle does sit in the crotch of my hand. And I'm doing a downward stroke, making it happen. So notice here how very little paint there is in the water. You know, you see a little bit of a blue cloud there, but it's really not too bad. You see here with my hand I can rub off way more paint. See that? And we want to do that as little as possible, so we'll go ahead and use the blade as much as possible. But here I put it away, and out of my pocket I'm going to grab the brush. See how I've got my hand in it, not holding it. That way the brush kind of holds onto my hand by itself. But notice how much paint comes off of this boat when I rub it with a brush. Or a hand for that matter. Shaving with that blade takes a lot less paint off of that boat. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to use the brush to get the cosmetic results that you're looking to. Okay, so we've done the water line, and I'm going to start at the port side valve. That's the front left of the boat, and I'm going to show you this technique that I use with a 12-inch blade. I am completely prone in the water, upside down, so my fins and my knees are kind of pointed towards the bow. My head is pointed towards the stern, and the reason that is because that's the direction of the current. So my head is facing into the current, and my fins are facing away from the current. And I'm upside down, but prone, right? So it's like I'm laying in bed. And I got a big 12-inch blade and a 2.5-inch blade, or a small blade. We're doing each respective part. This right here, this is the technique that I've been trying to explain to you guys online. I'm using the blade in an underhand motion and going straight across my line of sight. And every once in a while I'll hit a through haul like you see here. There's 2 through hauls. So I clip my big blade off, grab my small blade, and do some detail work on this through hull here. Alright, and so now that I've done the detail work, I'll trade my small blade for my big blade again and go at it in big broad strokes like that. See, my left hand is actually on the spray chine of the boat. It's actually on the very corner of the boat. So I'm getting a swath of boat every single time that's about 6 inches 6 inches long and about 4 feet or 5 feet wide. Got some more through hauls here. Man, that's a big through hull right there, and it's nasty too. That's the port side engine raw water intake. And you'll see with this little blade that I do a lot of tapping. It's like this little tiny impact tapping thing, and I'm holding it downward like in a stabbing motion. Lots and lots of detail work. This is all being shot live in real time. I haven't sped anything up or slowed anything down because I wanted a realistic feeling of pace, So I've traded my little blade for my big blade again. And we're heading towards the transom now. But you can see I cover a huge amount of square footage very quickly, whether there's barnacles or not. You notice there's not a scratch, not a ding, nothing. Paint is perfect and it stays that way, and in fact it wears less than it would with a brush. Alright, so now I have moved closer to the keel. Right, I've made a 4 or 5 foot swath from the bow all the way to the transom along the spray chine, which is the very corner of the vessel. And now I'm doing exactly the same thing on the port side of the keel. We had a really great viz today, so I wanted to be able to shoot this and give you a pretty good idea of how I do this on a regular basis. Now hopefully this track that I'm making this time will intersect with the first track, but sometimes I have to go back and do a track in the middle, if that makes any sense, especially if there's low viz. Now you'll notice that my position hasn't changed. My head is still facing the transom of the boat, the back of the boat, and my fins are still facing the bow of the boat, and that's because we've got a pretty good current going from the transom to the bow, and I have stayed with my head pointed into the current. Here we've come across a big through hull of some sort. I've traded for my little blade, and that looks like a grounding plate. So you see here, every once in a while I'll get kind of tired in using the same muscles in my arms, and so I'll use different hand holds every once in a while just to sort of give my muscles a break. Here I'm using left hand, and I'm using a push technique rather than a stab technique, so I'm actually going forward instead of reversed. See how clean all that comes up? One swipe. No barnacles, no oysters, no very little paint coming off. You see there's a small, slightly blue haze in the water, but by comparison of the brush, it's very, very little. So you come across another through hull, I put my big blade away, take the small blade out, and go at it. And you'll see that the blade's got this funny shape on it, right? That little flat nub on the end. I'll stick that in the hole and cut. Right there, there it goes. In it goes, and I'm going to use that to kind of shade whatever's going on in there. So at this point here, we've made a track along the spray chine of the vessel, and we've made a track closest to the keel. So now I'm actually going to cut the keel, or shave the keel, I guess I should say, and I'm going to do that in a large sort of overhand sweep with my left hand. My right hand's holding me steady against the keel itself. You see, even a gloved hand puts more paint in the water than that blade does. Yeah, if you've got a nice sharp blade to do the work with, you can definitely do a better job with the blade than you can by rubbing the paint with either a brush or a glove. Just in case you're curious, yes, this is being shot with the Southern Cross. So thank you very much, Shawnee, for the awesome suggestion. Putting it together. Lots of light in from two different sources. Relatively low profile, kind of pretty much out of the way as far as geek light systems go. Doing a really phenomenal job. Very happy with the setup. So I'm going to swap back to my big blade again, and as I'm doing that, I just want to check the edge there. Let's check the edge. That's pretty good. See, there's a little bit of oil in that paint. It's on the very tip of that blade. I'm not too concerned about it. Blade's in good shape. Keep cutting. Alright, so we're done the hull. We're going to go ahead and start on the running gear. Running gear being props, rudders, struts, shafts, trim tabs, and sometimes there's rudder shoes also, not on this boat. See, I've got something going on my wrist here. Notice that my wrist is really super cold. So I kind of shake it and try to feel if it's wet inside. I'm not real sure. Yeah, as I'm chipping this stuff off, I'm thinking, man, that's a cold wrist. Is it wet? I can't really tell. These dry gloves have been absolutely phenomenal. Never had a leak at all. I'm thinking, huh, sure feels wet to me. Let's pop up here to the surface and just check it out. I don't see anything obvious. Nothing cut, busted, broken. Let me look at that real quick. So I'll pop the seal off. Take a look. Yep, soaking wet. Doggone it. I got a hole somewhere. So I'm going to move this cosmetic ring around a little bit, and because I did find a pinhole in it. Apparently a barnacle or oyster stuck me pretty good, and I'll move that cosmetic ring around just to kind of block that hole and pop it back in. Good to go. Not exactly dry anymore, but it won't flood anymore. Let's go finish up the job. Alright, so pretty much finished up. Let's do a final inspection. Look at those rudders. Look how clean they came. Props too. Very nice. Shafts are clean. Zincs need to be replaced. I'll get those tomorrow. Yep. Nice and clean. That's the way a boat should look right there. Alright, time to hop out. Very cool all HDPE, high density polyethylene ladder that this client has. And this is like unbelievable, unheard of around here. You can see there my P-ring with my two tools on it, my two blades. That'll give you a pretty good idea of what, the way that I carry those blades. Notice too that those Hollis fins have got a modified spring heel on them, a little different from the way they came from the factory. I've been without gravity for about 2 hours now, and you can see my feet are a little bit unsteady. But this shows you how the blades are attached to my rig. And that's it. Job well done. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.